Hey everyone, I'm Jay.
And I'm Sean.
And we watched a movie.
We watched a movie.
It is called Wild Mountain Thyme. Thyme like the herb. Wild Mountain Thyme like the song, apparently. And my goodness. Okay, welcome. Welcome back, friends. Welcome back, subscribers, future subscribers, perhaps. If you like what we're doing here, please consider hitting that subscribe button. Would be a dear Christmas gift to me, and one that is free for you to give.
So give it. What are you waiting for?
Welcome back to our fellow a-holes, and welcome to all of the people I assume are being led here because they watched this movie and they thought, what the heck? It is a what the heck kind of movie, and we are going to get to the bottom of it.
Good.
So first we'll do a film review for those of you who haven't seen it, because it is a brand new movie. Not a lot of opportunity yet, but whew, it's a doozy. So Wild Mountain Thyme. It seems to be set in like present day Ireland, but also some sort of magical backwoods present day Ireland where they have not had any modern conveniences sort of sullying their lives, and they know about the Lion King on Broadway, but they don't seem to have cell phones or life experience. Just all of the people are pretty terribly naive in this movie. I don't know how to classify it. I guess I'm going to call it a romance. A romantic farming movie? Let's call it a romance, but let's assume that the two romantic leads are the weirdest people you've ever met. You know, that super awkward, two super awkward, fully grown adults just trying to get together.
Yeah,
mostly by not trying to get together.
Well, they're awkward. That's how it's going to have to play
super awkward, yes. It's like if they made a movie about your life.
No, because you're not awkward.
I know. Thank goodness. You'd still be alone to this day if you hadn't met like a really dominant woman who could just do all the hard work for you and make it real easy.
You made everything easy.
I don't know if I should be calling myself easy on the internet, but anyways, she likes what she likes. But both of these people are awkward, so there's no easy path. I didn't know it had to be this hard. Okay, so we are in the beautiful hills of Ireland. The cinematography is gorgeous. It's like picture postcards everywhere you look. The beautiful green rolling hills, two neighboring farms, neighboring farm families, the Muldoons and the Reillys.
They're like the Capulets and the Montagues.
They are like that because they are frenemies. They can't be full out enemies because they're farmers, and farmers often rely on each other when...
Yeah, if someone gets sick, the other person has to till the fields.
Yes.
That's what I know about farming.
Very good, Sean. Very good farming knowledge that you have just applied for us here today.
Thanks.
Thank you. So that's, yes, exactly the situation. But it's true, like the farming community, at least, little farms, not the corporation farms, they do really rely on each other. So they can't afford to have an all-out war, but they have a miniature war, and it's called the Gates. So the properties, touch each other in just such a way that one of the families has to open two gates just to drive onto their own property.
My goodness.
It is just a wild point of contention for generations. Which you gotta love.
Tear down those gates.
Yes. Well, if only they had you around, Sean, to mitigate this, but
yeah.
Yes, but they don't. So things are just sort of. So we have Anthony Muldoon, played by Jamie Dornan, and then we have Rosemary Reilly on the other side, played by Emily Blunt. So, like I said, fully grown human beings here living with their elderly parents who are dying off in this movie. Anthony's dad, Tony, is played by Christopher Walken. And this seems like a really good time to just hit the pause button and talk about the accents, which are not good, which are notably bad. So here's number one. Can you overlook a bad accent? Because you're gonna have to do that to enjoy this movie. Certainly the Irish press have eviscerated this movie because the accents are so atrocious to their native ears, and I get that. It didn't particularly bother me, I have to say. Is it because you've made me watch the Hunt for Red October so many times? I don't know.
It helps.
Really just hurts your ears so much that maybe my accent ticker is broken.
Could be. Also, I'm not sure I could pick out an Irish accent.
Oh.
And I have an Irish
it's a
name.
thing.
I know it's a thing. I'm just not sure which one it is.
Okay. I mean, I feel like I can pick it out, but also I feel like there's more than one Irish accent. Like, it probably depends really where you're from. Which is true of even a lot of what I consider to be a small country. And yet, those regional dialects can be significant.
Yes.
Anyways, outside Mullingar, that's the play upon which this is based. It is being adapted by the play's writer. So John Patrick Stanley is writing and directing this movie. He also wrote and directed the movie based on his play Doubt, which was excellent. But do not base your opinion on this movie because the other one was so good. These are so different, wildly different, crazy different. Also, fun fact, he wrote Moonstruck.
Oh.
What a wild career this guy has had.
Apparently.
Yeah. So, okay, back to the Muldoons versus the Reillys. Everyone in the community has assumed these two star-crossed lovers, if you will get together, mostly because they're just a boy and a girl of the same age. And there aren't a lot of those around, so they better get together.
Yeah, they're only separated by 2 gates.
That's right. And wouldn't it be great to get together and separate those gates? Just make it one big,
one
my
big
gosh.
homestead.
Crazy talk, Sean. This is getting a little out of control here, and we're getting way ahead of ourselves.
Yeah.
And so, like I said, the elderly parents are dying off. Christopher Walken seems to be holding on just out of spite, because he's decided not to leave the farm to his only son, Anthony, because Anthony just won't get married and he doesn't want to see, like, you know, the family name and the family property just gone. So he's going to leave it instead to Cousin Adam. Now, Cousin Adam, played by Jon Hamm, is a Yank in every sense of the word. He's, you know, he comes for a visit and he's just super arrogant. He's super showy. He clearly doesn't know anything about farming. And I think he has a sort of romantic notion of what it might be like to leave his big New York City life and come over and be like, you know, a gentleman farmer.
Yeah.
And this is the guy that Christopher Walken would rather than his own son. Fun fact, Cousin Adam is also single. Lots of single, like, middle-aged people. Like, they've reached a very late stage in their life without settling down. And although Christopher Walken is very mad at his own son for being single, seems pretty confident that Adam, who, okay, he's more charming, he's more handsome, perhaps he'll do better. So of course Anthony, played by Jamie Dornan, is very upset by this. It's not fair, and everyone in the community knows it's not fair, and it's also well known. Like, Dad is not shy to, like, speak his mind on this, which is kind of terrible. So he resents the cousin. Resents the cousin who shows up in a rented Rolls Royce to a farm, where he is immediately stuck in the mud and will never see the light of day again, probably. But really, the real problem with Adam is that Adam has noticed that this Rosemary girl next door is quite attractive.
Uh-oh.
Oh,
how dare he?
Oh, Emily Blunt just strutting her rubber boots all over the property. Just, you know, that holy sweater is working for her. Yeah, he's liking what he sees in Ireland. Oh my gosh. So, again, I said they're awkward. There are no official diagnoses available to us. Anthony is described as shy, slow, and having a metal detector, and those things are all synonyms. Also, he really believes in a family curse, and that has really held him back. And again, by family curse, he means mental illness. Well, that's what it is. I don't know if he means it because he believes it is a family curse. So, well, like I said,
not wrong.
No, well,
it's hereditary, probably.
It can be. Gosh. So yes, these shy, slow, metal detecting, owning people are just going to go their whole lives only greeting each other with a good morning. That's it. They have to get to married. They have to go from 0 to married somehow. Yet nobody's gonna make the first move, any move, a half move, nothing. They just can't do it. And yet we see Rosemary on her side, and she's practically like burning alive with wanting this guy, which is baffling. And he is just a lost cause, can't even think about how to live his own life. Oh my gosh, it's really tough between these two. So we're sure that this is what the course is, that they're supposed to wind up together. And yet there seems to be no path whatsoever to getting there, because neither of them has made a single step forward. How are we going to get there, folks? So here's the item number 2. You have to be prepared to be exasperated. This is not going to be a traditional courtship. It's going to frustrate you and them every step of the way. Can you deal with that? This is not the Hallmark formula. This is an anti-Hallmark movie. You know the steps of a Hallmark movie, and it is guaranteed to get there. This movie, oh boy, it's just gonna agonize you over and over again. Okay, that said, I enjoyed this movie. I am in the minority. Truth be told, I have looked at the stats. They're not good. People generally have really felt this movie to be a frustrating movie-going experience. And while I can appreciate that sentiment, and I even somewhat agree, I also just kind of thought it was sweet and weird and fun. But I have a super high tolerance for offbeat movies, as Sean will attest to.
You do have a super high tolerance for offbeat movies, but you have a very low tolerance for awkwardness. So this is interesting.
Yes. Well, that's the thing, is that they're so awkward, they just don't ever come into contact with each other or anyone. So you're like, the awkwardness that I hate is watching two people be weird. But they're not, because they just stay home.
Okay, so they can't be weird together, so you were not feeling awkward along with them.
That's right.
Okay, that's the difference. Interesting line you've drawn here.
Yeah. So yeah, you have to have a super high tolerance for just an offbeat movie. It's not going to take the conventional path. You can't have expectations about this movie. And, it does start to reward you. It eventually, it doesn't pick up momentum or anything like that. It is a slow burn with just a lot of looking out windows. And often you can't even see what's outside that window, guys. So don't even get attached to that notion. It's just a lot of introspective, like, what am I doing with my life? And wouldn't it be good if I wasn't so awkward? Well, guess I'm gonna die alone. It's a lot of that, but like internally. Gosh. And yet I liked this movie somehow.
Oh, that's what matters.
It just felt like it's weird. It's trying to just be like a weird person's romance. And I kind of felt endeared to these two characters who can't get it together. So if you haven't seen it, you don't like spoilers, because you are going to see it. And it's got to be a very small portion of you. But feel free to turn away now. Because let's actually talk what happens in this movie. Oh, gosh. I mean, thank you for being here. Please contribute in the comments if you have your own theories. But yeah, these two people are going to resist getting together the entire movie. They never make it over any sort of hump. Sometimes you feel like it's close, you know, they've got like grief in common, land in common. You know, we find out that Rosemary's been holding on to a grudge about him pushing her, and that's why the two gates exist. So she's been holding on to a grudge for like 30 years. That's why nobody can get in and off their property. It's just kind of insane. But this is the kind of people they are. So they're just off. And we never have a diagnosis. They're just not really normal people. And even though, you know, Rosemary obviously is a very hard-working woman and runs things by herself, she has this crazy naivety. Somehow she has had no worldly experience whatsoever and is just gonna pine away for this weird guy. When she looks like a lot like Emily Blunt. A lot like Emily Blunt, so she could have her pick of men, especially if she went to America, it would seem. And she does. I mean, she could do better than Jon Hamm, so just imagine that. This movie. So, okay, here's the big twist ending that everyone is talking about. We finally have these two people together in a car. So they're gonna finally be forced to talk about their feelings. And she's like, why? Obviously you love me, you know you're just supposed to be with me, there's nobody else in the world for you, so what the heck, why are you hanging back? And he's like, well, I could tell you, but you're not gonna like it, you're not gonna understand. And she's like, try me, I swear. And he's like, no, it's hideous, you'll never think the same of me. What do you think it is, Sean?
He has a rash on the rest of his body?
No, he thinks he's a bee.
He thinks he's a bee?
Yeah.
Oh, I did not see that coming.
Nobody does. I mean, it's super including everyone watching the movie. There is no, like, you can go back and rewatch the movie and be like, are there hints about this? No, there are not. There are no hints. It turns out the whole time he just thinks he's a bee.
Oh boy.
So there's that.
Did she show him the bee movie?
No, but she was pretty accepting of his declaration of beehood. You know, turns out she's harboring some weird thoughts of her own. It comes so far out of left field that you literally like, oh God, what is in right field? Like, it's alarming. It's like, what? Have I been watching and understanding this movie wrong the whole time? But no, you haven't. This is just the thing. This is the thing that was holding him back. This is the why he's weird.
Oh.
Is it the family curse?
Weird thing.
It's just a weird thing. He thinks he's a bee. So how could he be with a woman?
I don't know.
You know?
You don't know until
She's
you try.
not gonna like that.
She seems okay with it.
Well, he was surprised.
She's bee positive.
Yeah. So he should have checked with her earlier because he did not expect such a positive reception, and then here they are. She's cool with him being a bee. What the heck? Yeah. I just, like, everybody needs to see this movie just to experience that moment of like, did I hear that right? Do I need to rewind like 90 minutes of film here and just see if there's any hint that this is coming?
No, you don't, because Jay already told you don't have to.
You don't have to. You're allowed to be shocked. Gosh, can even a person who loves offbeat movies forgive a movie for just throwing that out there in the final 3 minutes of the film?
I don't know, can she?
I mean, I kind of did, didn't I?
You did.
I already am on record of liking this movie. Yeah, I didn't see that coming. It's not a common trope in the romance genre, so maybe I'm just giving it bonus points for having surprised me for once, because very, very few times does a movie genuinely surprise me. And almost always I will end up liking a movie that does that, whether it truly deserves it or not. There are so few original stories anymore, and I was like, you know what? This is one of them. This is the weirdest romance story I have ever seen, and I didn't even know about the bee stuff until the end, and it was weird the whole time. And then it got weirder, but wasn't a deal breaker. So if you're a weirdo, there's hope for you yet. And what a hopeful message that is, really.
Isn't it?
You know?
Yeah, it is.
There's hope for everyone and most bees.
Yeah.
It's pretty incredible when you think about it.
So don't stop believing.
Oh! Well, you heard it here first, folks. That's a Sean exclusive. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Bye.